Hey, what's up, guys? Momento just secured its first YCS win at YCS Houston. Piloted by Pascal, he ran a really cool build that included Speedroid Terrortop and Goblin Bikers, giving the deck some serious push power and helping it play around a lot of the common counters. Momento is known for its complex combo line and its layered inboard, so in this video, I'm gonna break down some of the key combos from Pascal's version and show you what makes this build so strong. So let's get started. These first combos will be using Speedroid Terrortop, and we'll show you what it can do just by itself. Of course, your combo will vary depending on your opponent hand, but you'll be able to learn more combos with experience and more play time with this deck. So we first special summon Terrortop, get the Tomborg, then special the Tomborg. Here we can go into the Goblin Biker XYZ, which is on summon, adds you a Goblin monster. Here we're going to add Duck Charger. We're going to special Duck Charger, use Duck Charger's effect to add a Goblin Biker spell. In this case, we're going to add Grand Breakout. Make sure to remember, this is very important going second. Goblin Biker, Big Gabonga, whenever a material is detached from him, you can suck up an opponent monster. Now let's continue. We're going to use Ground Breakout, Special Goblin, use Goblin's effect, sending both Memento Fusion and Gaddock. Gaddock will trigger to special summon. We'll use his effect to add back the fusion. Then we can go ahead and fusion summon into Twin Dragon. Dragon effect, destroy itself, Searchin, Dark Blade, and Akahiron. And remember, Twin Dragon will let you reborn Gaddock. Here we can just go ahead and normal summon Darkblade, use his effect to special summon Anguish. Then we can use Anguish's effect to add Sleepy, which will give us our next fusion. We'll special Sleepy, fuse, into Creation King, which will let us mill another Creation King, a combined creation, and a mace. We'll use Creation King Graveyard effect to add the field spell. We'll activate it. Here we'll use Memento Fusion, destroying our Sleepy to add one party. This is important because we need to trigger the field spell and Akihiron, as well as Sleepy extra effect let us mill an extra monster. Here we can reborn the mace we milled earlier. Use Mace's effect, destroying the Akihiron, to add any memento, spell, or trap, or any card. If you played the traps, you can also add the trap. Here we can trigger Akihiron to add back Sleepy. Then we could go into SB Little Knight to protect our place from Nibiru. Here we go to shuffling 5 and going into combined creation. Here we have Anguish and Akihiron to use on our opponent's turn. If you wanted an extra monster, you could have used Bone Party earlier on one of the two monsters that you went into SB Little Knight with, and you could have reset the field spell. Using the field spell, just reset Bone Party, if that was necessary for your combo. Well, this is the basic of what this, basically one Speedroid Terrortop can do, which is really awesome. That Memento has even more starters now, and it's a one-card starter. So this might not seem a lot, but this is actually a very layered board. Here we have SB to banish whenever we need to. Banish an opponent monster and one of our monsters. We also have Creation King, Combine Creation to reborn Anguish. And then Anguish can add us Mace, which will allow us to take control of an opponent's monster. And using all of that, we can fuse our opponent's monster, our combined creation, and one card in hand to Guardian Chimera. Or you could do this differently. On your opponent's turn, you can use Bone Party to destroy a card, use Sleepy to go into Twin Dragon, which will add us 2 more cards, and that could be Mace and Goblin, which will gain us both their effect. And that way we can trigger the field spell, trigger Twin Dragon to summon one, and trigger Akihiro to summon one. That way we have a full board to pop with Creation King. We can pop up to 5 cards our opponent control. We still have the Memento Fusion, and the Bone Party, and the Mace to take control of an opponent monster that we can fuse into Guardian Chimera. This all depends on what you're playing against and how you want to utilize these interruptions. Remember, you can save this for last to special summon Darkblade, discarding a Memento monster to pop one of their back row. That's a really cool combo. Also, don't forget, Akihiron, when it's destroyed, it can add back one of the Memento cards in your banish or graveyard. You can add the Memento Fusion if you needed that. And you also have that battle effect of a spell and traps can activate it in the damage step until the end of the damage step. So you gotta be mindful of both these effects. And that's a lot you can do with just these many cards on field. Our second combo will also use Terrortop. So let's get started with it. We'll do the same. Special Terrortop, special Hecatomb, and go into Big Gabunga. Use Duck Charger, detach a material. You can also, if you're going against Rizal, you can detach one of their material. And also remember that Big Gabunga, whenever a material is detached from it, can attach a monster your opponent control. So it's not bad going second. You can do all of that without using your normal summon. Here we'll add the other Goblin Biker spell, Grand Entrance. We'll use Grand Entrance to add Duck Charger because we can special summon it using Grand Entrance effect by detaching a material. It's one effect you can add and optionally special summon him. And here we can go into XYZ Armor Torpedo, which will detach 2 monsters to draw a card. And let's say we drew a Memento starter. Now we can go into Utopic Future, then Draco Future. That went too fast. Then Draco Future. Then we can summon Darkblade. And now our plays are protected by hand traps. So we can summon Darkblade, go into Goblin. We can do somewhat of a similar combo from last combo. We'll send Gaddick and the Memento Fusion. Gaddick Reborn. We can add back the Fusion. Then we could fuse into our Creation King. This is how it differs. Now you have 3 materials. And now we can mill with our Creation King. We'll send another Creation King, an Akihiron, and an Anguish. We'll get the field spell, which will allow us to reborn when a card is popped, which is very important for Memento Fusion banish effect. We'll destroy the Creation King on field to add Bone Party, which then will trigger our field spell to reborn. Oh, also remember Akihiron. Then we're gonna, whenever a card is destroyed, you could just special summon him. Now we're gonna special Anguish using the field spell, use our effect, chain block it with Akihiron to search Sleepy. And now we can go into our second fusion, Twin Dragon. But before that, we can utilize Anguish's effect to destroy Akihiron, which will allow us to add back the Memento Fusion. So, the Sleepy. Fuse using King Anguish. The Sleepy. Add Mace and Goblin. And remember, Sleepy will trigger to send a Memento card. Here we'll send Combined Creation. And now, here is where it comes up to use Bone Party that I explained in the first combo. You can use Bone Party, pop Twin Dragon, Special Summon Horse, Twin Dragon, Reborn Akihiron. Here you have 2 level 5s, you can go into rank 5, but in this case we'll go into SP to protect against Nibiru. But we don't really need it if we haven't used our Draco Future effect yet. And now we can shuffle 5, summon Combined Creation, and we're left with same Anguish and Akihiron to use on our opponent's turn. And remember, you can use Goblin Biker's Grand Entrance, detach a material from Draco Future to add back Duck Charger. Now you might be asking why this is important. You can use Memento Fusion to go into Guardian Chimera. First you'll use Mace, take a card from, take a monster they control, and you'll use a monster from hand and 2 monsters from field to go into Guardian Chimera. That way you won't be going neg, or in case you draw a handful of spells. You'll always have an access to a monster in hand, which isn't necessary, but it's always a plus. And the field spell can just reset Bone Party. So, in this combo, we already explained the Chimera play. You could have also went into Creation King, but it's not necessary because with Combined Creation, we can Reborn, Anguish, searching for Sleepy, which will let us fuse into Creation King. Then we could pop early or later whenever you need to with Bone Party. You'll also have another negate and an SP. Again, this is a very layered board and the interaction will depend on when your opponent does and what deck they are playing. This is very cool what you can do with the Speedroid package and the Goblin Biker package. And again, these Goblin Bikers are really good going second into XYZ boards. So number 3, let's say you have full combo, a full Memento hand, and you want to utilize the Speedroid Terrortop to go in second to its maximum potential. Here we'll show you what you can do. We'll just let our opponent have a monster on the field before we showcase this combo. Summon Terrortop, search Decaton board, special him. Go into the Goblin Biker monster, XYZ monster, which will add us Duck Charger. Then we'll use his effect. First, we can battle now or use his effect later. But in this case, we'll battle first. Go into Down Arc Magician. Then go into Zeus. And now you have a format Zeus. So, after using your format Zeus or 2-mat Zeus, depending on whichever you want to use. So let's say you used up all format, you can normal summon Duck Charger, search Grand Breakout, then do the Goblin line as usual. This is amazing going second. Here we'll This will differ because we used up our normal summon. We'll have to search Gaddick and Born Party. Here we'll go into Darkblade. Then go into Maze. Use Maze effect to search Memento Fusion. Use Memento Fusion. Leave in Darkblade in the grave. We go into Creation King. We'll use his effect to send another Creation King, an Akira, and an Anguish. We'll add the Field Spell, using Creation King Graveyard effect, and now we can use Memento Fusion, pop in our onboard Creation King. That way we can trigger our Field Spell and trigger our Akira, just like the previous two combos. We'll summon Anguish. Anguish will search Sleepy. Use Sleepy Fusion into Twin Dragon. Pop Twin Dragon to search Combined Creation and Mace. Don't forget to reborn using Twin Dragon Graveyard effect. And we can go into an SB. This is all done after breaking our opponent's board with a format Zeus. We'll basically have the full setup. In end phase, he'll set one party. And here we have the full setup after breaking our opponent board, which is pretty insane in my opinion. That's if they had a stack board. But let's say they had not that many cards on field. You could have done the normal Duck Big Bagunga play. Using Duck Charger, Detaching Material. Gabunga will suck up a monster, and that way you dealt with a card they control. And then you can go into XYZ Torpedo, or we can go into Gossip Shadow if you need an extra negate. Then we could go into Utopic Future, then Draco Future, and start our Memento plays that way. Just like combo number 2. But if you really needed the Zeus with the format materials, this is the best way to do it. Again, this is a really cool way to play Memento. This is the deck list that was used in the YCS to achieve first place. They opted to play 1 Combined Creation, 1 Akihiro, 3 Tatsuno Shigo, 2 Darkblade, 2 Anguish, and 3 Duck Charger. They also played 3 Fluos for going second, and 3 Speedroid Terrortops, which are 1 card starters, just like I showed you guys in the previous 3 combos. In our kind of bricks, we have Sleepy. On its own, it does nothing. Tekaton board, and Gaddick. Here we also have 2 Goblins, because this will come up when you doing the Goblin combo. You will need a second one sometimes. Here we have a Mace. We play 3 Momento Fusion, 3 Bone Party, which will help us dodge cards. And they're generally really good cards. The Field Spell, which helps us recycle these cards and allow us to extend when a card is destroyed. Again, we need help going. We don't need that much help going second, but having a Forbidden Droplet will always help. We play both Goblin Biker cards. Again, they're good on their own, so they're not really bricks unless you open them by themselves with no other card. Play 1 Pot of Prosperity, 1 Triple Tactic Talents, 3 Infinite Impermanence. For the extra deck, we play 3 links. 1 being SB Little Knight, which will be on our inboard most of the time, as it helps us play around Nibiru. We also have Donner, which can come up a couple of times. Dark the Dark Charmer. It's always nice to have. You have a lot of dark monsters. We have the XYZ package with the Armored Torpedo, the Big Kubunga, the number 75 Gossip Shadow. If it comes up, It's really helpful. And of course, we can go into our utopic Draco package. And when we're battling, we can go into Donald Magician and Don Zeus. So this deck doesn't really lose to D barrier, as you have a varied extra deck, and your main boss monster is in the main deck. We also have Twin Dragon, 2 Creation King, 1 Guardian Chimera. If you want, you could cut the Dark Charmer, play another Creation King. And this is the usual YCS side deck. 3 Chaos Hunter, 3 Lancia, all the Charmies, and Droll. If you guys found this video interesting, feel free to leave a like. And if you want to see more of this type of content, feel free to also subscribe. Later, guys.